Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing you the second part of What If Spider-Man was in Teen Titans. In the last part we covered the beginnings of the Teen Titans and how Peter interacts with some of the members, being a third bro to Beast Boy and Cyborg, a strong ally to Robin, and a nuisance to Raven. We left off with the Teen Titans all working together to stop Kirk Connors and revert them back to normal. One more thing before we begin. In Teen Titans there are a few episodes where it focused on one or two Titans, fleshing out more of their characters and their relationships. With these episodes where other characters are taking the spotlight, I may skip, as Peter is either a side character within that episode or not within the episode very much entirely. I'm doing this not because Peter is the main character now, that he's within the show, but because with this being a Spider-Man What If, the perspective will mainly be on him rather than anyone else. Unless it follows Peter's relationship with the characters. With that out of the way, let's begin. The Titans are all facing a villain known as Dr. Light. His powers are self-explanatory. He uses beams of light to attack. He hits Raven and suddenly she retaliates by losing control of her powers and almost killing him. Peter immediately steps in, yanking Dr. Light away from Raven as Robin then yells at her to stop. Her energy dissipates and she stares at him wide-eyed. Peter tries to make a joke about it all, but then Raven suddenly glares at him with glowing red eyes. As he then flinches, she suddenly then storms off. Peter's response to that is to turn to the Titans asking if he did something wrong. Returning to the tower, Peter and Beast Boy decide to go check on Raven. Peter knocks on her door just for it to open, as it's slightly ajar. Beast Boy is about to walk in when Peter tries to stop them. Beast Boy insists, and Peter groans, entering the room with him. Beast Boy picks up a mirror, and Peter grimaces, telling him to put it down, when suddenly a giant portal appears and sucks them both in. They appear in a dark, unknown space. Peter scolds Beast Boy, saying that he told him not to touch her stuff. They then walk around trying to find a way out of wherever they are, and Beast Boy then turns to a bird to talk to bird-like creatures nearby when they suddenly attack him. They chase both of them and suddenly the ground crumbles as they fall in. Peter then webs the edge of the ground and then grabs Beast Boy, and suddenly Raven shows up, cheerfully asking what they're doing. As she asks this, suddenly gravity flips and they fall into the ground. Peter then stands up and notices Raven's wearing pink. He asks what's with the new innocent cutesy look, and she giggles, saying that pink is her favourite colour. Peter is surprised with this because he always thought it was blue. She responds enthusiastic, saying how she also loves blue. Beast Boy then cuts in and asks if she knows a way to get out of here, and Raven says that she does, and that they just need to go through an arch that's nearby, before zooming off with their arms in the air like an airplane. Peter and Beast Boy exchange looks in confusion, Peter asking if Beast Boy's ever seen her that cheerful before, which Beast Boy responds saying that he didn't even know Raven could comprehend the idea of being happy. They both shrug and then decide to follow her. In a bright, colourful place full of flowers and nature, Beast Boy then says that he thinks this is where air fresheners come from, and then Raven bursts out laughing, surprising both of them as she never laughs at his jokes. Beast Boy asks about this, and she says that she always thought it was funny, but looks aren't everything, before she zooms off again. Beast Boy and Peter sigh and then continue to follow the endless bundle of energy that is Raven. She suddenly disappears out of their sight, and they suddenly end up right where they were before. They're suddenly surrounded by large towering walls. Peter goes to crawl over them, but he's suddenly hit by something that's like lightning, before knocking him to the ground. Raven returns again, and explains that it's a maze. Peter and Beast Boy turn around to see Raven, now looking more timid and gloomy. She's also wearing grey now. Beast Boy yells at her, saying not to run off like that, and she cars away and tears up, immediately making him feel bad. Peter finally notices the colour of her cloak, and how it's different from before. It makes him wonder if there's any connection to the colours. Regardless, Raven says that she knows how to leave, but they'll not like her afterwards, if they even did before, which they immediately say of course they like her. She shyly nods before telling them to follow her, going on a ramble about how she's really sorry for how mean she is to both of them. That she doesn't think the Beast Boy's a complete idiot, and she knows that Peter's trying his hardest but isn't perfect, and how she expects way too much from him. Peter cuts her off, saying that they understand and that they forgive her. Eventually they leave the maze and are met by giant stone demons. Raven jumps and clings to Peter's arm in fear. Peter gets a bit flustered by her action as Beast Boy asks how the hell they're meant to defeat that thing. Raven lets go of Peter's arm, saying how she knew they'd end up hating her, but before they can say anything else, she reappears, now in green, before drop-kicking one of the giants and cutting another one in half, exclaiming for a high five for how cool that was. Peter then realizes these must be physical embodiments of her emotions. As he explains this to Beast Boy, the real Raven in blue reappears, saying that he's right, and how they shouldn't be poking around in a room like a theatre attraction. Peter apologizes especially, saying that he tried to say to Beast Boy not to go in. She rolls her eyes and says that they need to leave now. Peter asks what's going on, and she says that she has some business with her father, and that she has to handle it on her own, or else they'll be stuck in here forever. As she explains this, Trigon suddenly appears, and she goes out to fight him, but it's clear that she can't win alone. Beast Boy becomes a bird and scratches Trigon's eyes, distracting him and letting go of Raven. Peter then swings by, grabbing her and bringing her to safety. Raven is surprised by this, and Raven is surprised they stayed, thinking that they didn't like her. But Peter smiles and says that he always liked her. As a friend, of course, he quickly adds. She smiles a little and stands up. The three then work together to face Trigon. Peter then waves his arm as Beast Boy turns into a gorilla and punches him in the face. Raven Manatee has become one with all of her emotions. Her clothes suddenly become white as she overpowers Trigon, managing to defeat him for now. Trigon then changes into another Raven that's red, before becoming part of the real one. She returns to her normal form and collapses. Peter and Beast Boy catch her, and they all then return home. Raven then thanks the two, saying that they're not so bad after all. The two smile as they all then go for lunch. Time passes, and we find ourselves back in Connor's laboratory. An electrician named Max Dillon is currently trying to fix the wiring in the room when suddenly he stumbles and cracks open the glass containing electric eels. He is brutally caught between the wires and the eels and is electrocuted. For most, they would be killed, but unfortunately for Max, with the severity of the attack caused his physical body to eject a constant stream of bioelectricity. He is immediately rushed to the hospital. Max is angry for what happened. He blames Dr. Connors and decides to take revenge by using his powers to wreak havoc across the city, going by the new name Electro. The Titans arrive at the scene, electricity crackling through the streets of Jump City like lightning made sentient. Storefronts are shattered, cars are overturned, and the trail of melted lampposts leads to Electro glowing with unstable power. Electro floats into the air, grinning wildly as arcs of lightning shoot from his fingertips, immediately firing from them. The Titans spread out quickly. Robin tells them that they need to find a way to contain him. Cyborg immediately jumps in, knowing that if he overloads, then Jump City's power will go out entirely. Beast Boy then transforms into a hawk, circling above an area advantage as a Starfire flies behind him, dodging bolts. Raven raises her hands, enchanting Azarath, Metru, and Synthos to shield the civilians and redirect some of the errant blasts. Just then, a webline slings across the skyline, and Spider-Man swings in, narrowly dodging a bolt that singes the side of his arm. Spider-Man quips, saying he leaves one science class and someone turns the whole city into a Tesla coil. Jump City really doesn't do chill. He then lands next to Robin, and Robin asks where he was, and he then says that he was studying electromagnetism, ironically. The Titans coordinate, trying to outmaneuver Electro, who is now draining energy from a nearby substation. The sky darkens unnaturally as the power in the city flickers. Electro exclaims that he can't be stopped, and Peter then asks if he's tried turning himself off and back on again. Electro then launches a massive bolt that knocks Spidey into a wall as a response. Cyborg then manages to redirect some of it with his sonic cannon, but barely enough. Beast Boy then becomes a hippo and swan dives on top of Electro, pinning him but also getting electrocuted and quickly blasted away. Starfire and Raven attempt to bind him together with energy blasts and dark magic, but Electro overloads the bonds. Spider-Man notices a water tank nearby and then gets an idea. He then gets Electro's attention, and Electro chases him and yells to Robin to explode the water tank. Robin nods and throws a batarang at the tank that also works as a grenade. It explodes and water falls onto Electro, making his powers short circuit momentarily. He struggles for a moment before falling to his knees, drained and powerless. The Titans regroup, watching as the agents arrive to take Electro into custody. Robin then pats Peter's back, saying he did a good job, leading him into a trap. Peter responds by saying it's what he does best, annoy the villain until they fumble. Later at the tower, the Titans lounge on the couch. Pizza's piled high. Beast Boy flips through the channels, while Starfire asks Cyborg to explain microwavable burritos. Peter sits by the window, still in costume, watching the city lights. Robin then joins him, holding out a soda. Peter smiles and takes it, as the two begin talking about the latest comic book of their favourite series. As the scene then fades to black, we cut to a person in the darkness, observing the Titans on a TV screen, taking a very keen interest in Robin, specifically this being none other than Slade. For episodes such as Forces of Nature, some of his parts, Switched, and Deep Six, Peter's role is minimal majority of the time. but soon the Titans become aware of Slade and his meddling in the shadows. They finally find a lead and are taken to a bunker, and there they are ambushed by Slade's minions. Robin seems to get a little too excited and takes down the minions single-handedly. Peter then breaks the stunned silence by saying, "Good work, team." Raven and Rosa rise as the group then continue onwards, and suddenly a large man in a rhino suit appears and charges at the group. Peter asks what's with the theme of animal-based villains this week, and to which Beast Boy wastes no time saying they're trying to copy perfection, and transforms into Rhino himself, charging at the villain. Robin, who is already in a pissed off mood, suddenly sucker punches Rhino into the face and then slams him to the ground, which Robin can somehow do, according to him crashing out on the monster made of pure concrete. They arrive at the docks, where Robin runs off on his own, pinning a nearby criminal and asking where Slade is. Peter then swings in and yanks him away, saying that he needs to calm down. Robin pulls away and says that he's got this, which is very concerning. Back at the tower, Robin is in his room, planning a way to get closer to Slade, and soon he comes up with an idea. Time passes, and Robin explains that he might have a lead on Slade, and won't be able to help out in the next mission. The Titans all understand and give him time. This new mission takes them to a train station, where they're suddenly attacked by a mysterious figure who calls himself Red X. And that's where I'm going to leave off for this part. What do you think of it? If you have any suggestions for the story, please leave them in the comments below. I think I made the like goal a bit too high for our first video, so let's bring the like goal down to about 10 to 15 likes to get part 3 out and ready as soon as possible. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss another video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. See you later.